Free will is sacred, it's law, it's spiritual sovereignty. Peace, chosen ones. Happy Owl Wisdom Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. This is the Mystic Owl speaking, and today I want to get into the conversation of free will. A lot of people speak about destiny, fate, divine timing, such as myself, but in today's society, it feels like not a lot of people understands that spirit does not override you. If anything, spirit guides you. Spirit gives you a little nudge. Spirit illuminates what's been hidden in the dark. It never forces anything, and this is exactly why you should never allow another person to force you to do anything, because that forcing energy is not divine. That's a dark energy. That's a dark entity that you do not want to be entangled with at all. Free will is sacred. It's law. It's spiritual sovereignty. And one thing that I had to learn the hard way, the long way and the hard way, is that just because something feels intense or emotional or even urgent, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's aligned, because manipulation is usually loud in spirit, but spirit is always quiet, always steady. Free will feels calm, even when it's firm. When your free will is intact and it's balanced, you don't feel pressured or rushed. You don't feel guilted into decisions, like allowing people to take you on a guilt trip. You don't feel spiritually bullied. Spirit and free will allows you to have space. There's room to grow, there's room to breathe, and most importantly, there's clarity over whatever situation you might be in. And when your free will is being tested, abused, or taken for granted, your body will react first. Your body will respond first. And it's usually something like your stomach tightening or your chest feels heavy. You feel irritated, like after, especially when it's a person attempting to suppress your free will. You'll feel irritated or you'll start having racing thoughts. You'll feel like you owe someone something that you never agreed to give. That's the first sign, especially when people are demanding your time, your money, your effort, your intention, your energy, demanding your respect, but they give absolutely none of that in return. That's manipulation. That's your free will being manipulated, especially if they get upset or angry when you don't give in to their demands. We don't do that over here. That's not peace. That's not spirit. That's not free will. Now, in the past, I have definitely had moments where I said yes to things because I didn't want to seem difficult, or yes to conversations that I didn't want to have, yes to energy I didn't want around me, and that's not boundaries. That's not spirit. That was me giving into the pressures of society. That was me people pleasing, but not understanding that those same people who wanted me to people please would absolutely never do the same thing for me. I'm all about people feeling good and being happy and being peaceful and resolving issues. But when it's disrespect and manipulation attached to it, I detach immediately, regardless of the situation, regardless of the person. And that's how I was able to grow spiritually. Because if you don't have boundaries set around yourself, especially around your free will, that's someone else's will. It's not your free will anymore. It's someone else's will. And that's not what we want. And every time I would give in to other people's demands and manipulation regarding their free will and disregarding my free will, my spirit would feel so heavy and confined afterwards. Not peaceful, not clear. It would feel heavy. It would feel irritated, honestly, anxious. And that's when I started to realize that I was overriding my own free will, which is something you never want to do. Because the moment you give your own personal power away, it's going to be really hard for you to get it back. You never give your power away to anyone for any reason. Free will usually gets manipulated in subtle ways. It's usually not loud and obnoxious, but it's always obvious control. And what I see the most is emotional leverage. Sometimes it's someone constantly needing you, so you feel responsible. And other times it might be someone using spiritual language against you to pressure you into doing something. And that's not spirit, that's coercion dressed up as connection. That's still manipulation. Because real spiritual alignment never corners you, it never traps you, it never removes your ability to choose freely. And it also always respects you. There is a big issue in society right now where the only thing being served in connections, not just romantic connections, but all connections, the only thing being served is disrespect. And when disrespect is being served, my energy gets removed immediately. I move through life with my intuition activated. So I don't just feel energy, I observe it, I sit with it, I test it. I test it against my peace. If I respond to this, is this gonna ruin my peace or upset my day or sabotage my energy? I really have to ask myself these questions because I understand that we are in active spiritual warfare. Some of us know this, some of us don't know this, some of us refuse to believe this. But the way that free will is being tested and manipulated, I think that people should at least consider that something is wrong, something is off, because there's no need to confine another person's spirit, another person's energy. There's no need to manipulate anyone into doing anything. There's just no need for it. It's all a power struggle. It's all about control. This is why we have to always actively make sure that our free will is balanced and intact and wrapped up in layers and layers of boundaries. Because if it's not, you're going to find yourself in a situation that you desperately want to get out of. You're going to find yourself accepting disrespect, which you never allow anyone to disrespect your spirit, to disrespect your energy. If something disrupts my nervous system, I really have to take a moment to see how I'm going to respond. Like if I feel rushed, I slow down. And definitely if a situation or a person requires me to abandon my boundaries that I have wrapped up and layered around my peace, around my mind, my heart, around my free will, I decline the invitation and I remove myself and my energy. No questions asked, no hesitation. Free will requires discernment. And in having and exercising your discernment, it isn't paranoia, it's awareness. And it's awareness without fear. There have been many times where opportunities look good on paper, money looked good, attention looked good, the validation, but underneath it, I could feel something else, like a hook, an attachment, or an expectation that wasn't spoken out loud. Because most people have realized that when you just outright tell someone what to do and how to do it and how you want it done in a manipulative way, they're usually not going to respond. They're not going to take it well. So, what humans have learned to do is use these subtle manipulation tactics. They do things to get you accustomed to their way of living, to get you onto their program. We don't need to be on anyone's program. This is why we have free will. You literally have the ability to create your reality, to operate in your free will. You don't have to get on anyone else's so called program. You create your own program. The mystic owl doesn't move in a panicked energy. She sits back, she waits, she watches. Spirit operates through invitation, not through demand, not through manipulation. And if something is truly aligned for you, it will still be there when you choose it from clarity. You don't have to abandon yourself to receive it. Another way free will gets manipulated is through urgency through people in our everyday lives, urgency through consumerism, like using words like decide now, last chance, if you don't do this immediately. No, that pressure tactic is not divine timing. That's not from spirit. That's from a human ego. Because divine timing and spirit will never collapse your nervous system. You will always feel calm, you will always feel peace, and you will always feel clarity when you operate out of free will, when you trust your intuition, when your discernment is activated. And manipulation, on the other hand, feels constricting. Operating in your free will means you choose intentionally. You speak slowly, you respond instead of reacting. You check your body before you speak. It means understanding that no is spiritual alignment, and distance can also be spiritual alignment. Free will is also about responsibility. You cannot blame the universe for doors you walk through willingly. You cannot blame your family, your friends, associates, strangers for doors you walk through willingly and consciously. You cannot blame spirit for choices you made against your own discernment. The things we agree to, spirit honors our yes. This is why we have to be careful about the things we come into agreement with, because that yes will probably teach you a lesson. When you fully operate in your free will, you become harder to manipulate. You start to move from alignment and not emotion or obligation. Exercising your free will is not about control, it's about having the option to make conscious decisions. It's about recognizing when someone or something is trying to override your clarity. And it's definitely about reclaiming the authority over your own energy. No one wants to be manipulated, no one wants to be controlled. But there are people who will attempt to manipulate and control other people, especially when they have no control over their own lives, over their own situations, or at least they think they don't have control. They actually have free will too, but they don't use it, they don't exercise it. And so, what they attempt to do is take away other people's free will. And we don't let that happen over here. Your free will is sacred. Protect it with everything you have. If you stay to the end, thank you for listening. Be sure to tune into next week's Our Wisdom Wednesday for more spiritual guidance and insight. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, speak life over yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, and protect yourself. I love you, chosen ones. Peace.